We are at the Cannes Lions Festival, a global celebration of creativity, innovation, and marketing. Welcome to the Stagwell Speakers Lounge, where leaders go right from the main stage to our studio. So Stagwell is the challenger network built to transform marketing, and we have created this experience so you get a behind-the-scenes look at what's happening at the festival. I'm Beth Sidhu, Stagwell's Chief Brand Officer, and I am so pleased today to be joined by Claire Paull, Head of Marketing for Amazon Ads. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So we're going to jump into a couple quick questions and get Claire's thoughts. So Claire, how would you rate the industry today when it comes to inclusivity?
Well, I would start by saying that I think the world has work to do when it comes to inclusivity. But I think, the industry, we're seeing really positive signals and a lot of great progress. But we still have, of course, a lot of work to do. One thing that I am happy to see, and I think is very positive, is more and more companies, focus on hiring resources that are dedicated to DEI and inclusivity. So at Amazon, I'm thrilled that Candy Castleberry has joined us, our new global head of DEI. I think she's going to do wonderful things. I'm very inspired by her work and what she'll bring to Amazon. And then, we need to tell more stories, and they need to be focused on this topic. And so another example of a positive signal is today on the main stage, our CMO of Amazon Studios and Prime Video, Okonwa Ojo, will be there to speak about women in storytelling and inclusive storytelling. And she'll do that with Regina Hall. And so, again, highlighting and illuminating these stories and making sure that they're part of the primary programming, which you're seeing a lot here this week at Cannes Lion. These are all great signals that we have the right focus. And of course, there's, many miles to go.
Always more work to be done.
Yeah, always.
So as a marketing leader in particular, how do you push for change that both supports your team members and also ladders up to support your brand's goals?
Yes. Well, all right, so it's a bit of a two-part question. The first thing I would say is that I think when you are in a leadership position, it's really important, or you're a manager of any kind, really, right?
Yeah.
I think that it's really important that you recognize that it is part of your job to create a healthy, balanced, inclusive environment for your team. It's not what you do in your free time or, a side
Not a side
job.
hustle.
Okay, right. Like this has to be, it absolutely, when you look at your calendar and you look at your priorities and you look at where you're spending your time, you have to ask yourself, what % of time am I spending on this? And it's a problem that will never be solved. Like it's an ongoing challenge, and sort of you have to evolve and rise to the occasion in that way. And so that was the first sort of thing that I recognized. And as part of that, I think there's programs that we've created at Amazon, and particularly within Amazon Ads. The ADAPT program that we have is a rotational, flexible work program that fills in during leaves, and that's super important because a lot of people think they can't take leave to be a parent, or they have a mother or a father that needs care, and they feel that they can't sort of leave their job to go take that time, or they need a mental health leave for whatever reason. These are all really important things, and making sure that we have these flexible programs where somebody's going to come in and take over for you while you take the time you need in your personal life. Those are the types of programs that I would love to see more of, and that I'm very focused on.
Got it. So what advice, let's think about the future. What advice would you give to the next generation of female marketers generally, and then I'd love to hear around inclusivity as well.
Okay, well, all the advice, right, for female marketers, because we need more female marketers.
Yes. I will not ask you how you do it all or how you juggle, which is my least favorite question for any female leader, marketer, or not.
Right. Well, okay, so a couple things. The first is, I would say, have a growth mindset, and endlessly chase the uncomfortable. I think it's recognizing and knowing that being a little uncomfortable in your role is actually a positive thing.
Means you're doing it right.
It means you're doing it right.
Yes.
So I say, if you wake up in the morning and you think, I've got this, like, I can do my job like no one else, that is when you need to raise your hand and say, I need a new challenge. And then lean into that discomfort and grow and take a risk and don't be afraid to fail, because you learn as much from your failures as you do when you crush it.
Yeah.
And so that is something I always encourage, anyone in their career, but particularly, women to, raise your hand and say when you want more and you want a bigger challenge. And then the second part I would say of my advice is the power of no, which is, practice it, say it, use it. No. I think I see this more frequently with women on the team, that they want to do it all, they don't want to say no, and I think that's admirable and that's awesome, but it's not scalable or sustainable. And so you have to pick and choose when you want to use no, but use it. And so I try to not just sort of talk the talk, but walk the walk. And so I say no, and frequently when I do, I say why. And I've heard feedback that actually helps the team. So I'll say things like, no, because I need to go be with my daughters,
right,
and I need to go take them to a doctor's appointment. And I think also, communicating some of these things, what you're comfortable with, also humanizes it and makes people realize, okay, you can have, this sort of work-life balance, and you can demonstrate it in a way that feels healthy and real.
All right, so our final question, we both have young daughters.
Yes.
So think about them in this, and we're asking everyone this question. If I had known then what I know now, what is the best professional advice you've ever received?
Okay. If I had known then what I know now, I say this all the time when I look at my daughters. I think the best professional advice I received was that I should try every day to work myself out of a job. And what I mean by that is, it's about leading through your leaders. If you wake up and you focus on growing the people around you, and you focus on the work, that eventually it should be that one day I'm not needed.
Yes, you look around and you can say no to everything and go on vacation.
Yeah, exactly, right? And if that happens, then I've done a good job, because that means I can go on to the next challenge. And that's a positive thing, versus, having it be about me and all about what I've done. It shouldn't be that. And so I've really taken that was really positive advice that I got, fairly early in my career, that I've used and said over and over and over again. And I think it just connected for me that it's extremely important to hire well and to focus on being a good manager and lead through leaders, and one day work yourself out of a job.
Great advice. So Claire Paull, Head of Marketing at Amazon Ads, thank you so much for joining us. We encourage all of you listening to follow along at Stagwell on LinkedIn and Twitter. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good day.